Okay, so I'm a life coach and I primarily work with the Enneagram system of personality, but I also work with the Big Five. And the Big Five measures five traits that we can distill down in human personality. So they find these traits by questioning people all over the world, all different cultures, all different languages, and they have found these five traits that have stood out. And that's not to say that maybe in the future we won't find more than five, but right now, the five that we have spell the acronym OCEAN, OCEAN, and that stands for openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And they don't correlate with one another. So whatever your score is in one of them, you could have any score with any of the others. So that's kind of cool. So they don't stack on one another. But another system that I work with, of course, is Enneagram. So part of what I do is try to see where there are some overlaps in those two systems. So Enneagram, of course, is more of a spiritual tool, so it's a little bit different than Big Five. Big Five tends to be just data-driven personality traits. Enneagram sort of gets behind the motives behind why we are how we are. So, for instance, I have noticed that agreeableness, which is one of the Big Five traits, has to do with how relational somebody is. Well, if we switch into Enneagram, there are some types that are known to be very relational. So, type 2 is very relational, and type 9 is very relational. Another way to say that is if you are an Enneagram type 2 or type 9, I would expect you to be in the upper percentile, so 50 percentile or greater of agreeableness, meaning you are more agreeable than half of the people on the planet, generally speaking. Or the flip side of that is you could say, well, actually, it's not a perfect correlation, but we could also look at something like neuroticism, which is the proclivity to feel negative emotions. That's what neuroticism, the trait, is. So some Enneagram types are not in the habit of feeling harder or difficult emotions regularly. So, for example, type 7. 7 really only feels half of the emotions wheel. And so, if you are a type 7, you're probably not high in neuroticism. Okay, more on that later because I could go on for like 12 hours. But that is some of the work that I do regarding Big Five and Enneagram. Thanks for watching.